Okay, so we're looking at chapter 9, and this is our chapter. There are actually two chapters on social stratification. So to clarify, social stratification refers to how there are layers or strata. Think of geological strata. So if you dig up the earth and you see different layers of different types of rock or sediment, those are strata. So stratification refers to that layering effect in the earth. Applied to sociology and specifically to social inequality and social class, we're talking about then how people are in different levels or strata of inequality, or what we call stratification. Two chapters on this. So chapter 9 is, if you will, the general approach to social stratification in the US, and chapter 10 is global stratification, getting into the more global issues. So in a sense, these two chapters go together in some ways. And if you're taking the class, depending on if you're taking it in the summer or fall, winter, or spring, and these two chapters go together, it's a great opportunity to consider them in tandem because there is so much overlap in terms of stratification in the US case and then in the global picture. So going back to chapter 9 then, we have four sections in the chapter. The first is what social stratification is. We'll talk about open and closed stratification systems. We'll talk about caste and class systems and differentiate them. And we'll look at meritocracy as an ideal of stratification. Meritocracy referring to merit. So I can go through school, and because of the merit of my hard work, I achieve the job I want to achieve. But the question is that really true? Is there a rags to riches scenario in the United States, in the UK, in European countries, or wherever you happen to be if you're taking this class now? So good question to think about. Section 2, social stratification and mobility in the United States. We'll talk about the U.S. class structure. We'll talk about different types of social mobility. We'll recognize the characteristics that define and identify class. And I should mention that there are some views out there, particularly studies of social class in the UK, that suggest that we should get beyond this notion that there's three main classes: lower class, working class, middle class, and upper class. And so some people would say that maybe there's actually more differentiation within those different strata. So something to think about. Third section, global stratification and inequality. So we'll look at global stratification, and again, this will get repeated in our next chapter, chapter 10. We'll talk about what global stratification is. We'll talk about the models for understanding this form of stratification, and we'll look at how studies of global stratification identify worldwide inequalities. Next, section 4, we'll focus on theoretical perspectives on social stratification. So as you know by now, very familiar with here in chapter 9 probably, functionalist, conflict perspective, symbolic interactionist. How can we apply each of those to understand what stratification is here in chapter 9 of Introduction to Sociology?